Yo, JD here, Limitless, and as you can see, back on F1 2020 as always today, and we are back with some league racing once again at Bahrain, but this time, unlike in TSRL where it's a short circuit, this is actually the full circuit, so not quite the same layout, and we are here for the World Online Racing League WOR Round 2. And you will be able to see the standings on the screen now. First race in Australia was a bit eventful, was a full wet race, managed to recover to salvage a point in the end after a mistake on lap 6, and continues to be an up and down experience within this league and amongst many leagues at the moment, to be honest. The races I feel have been good and they've been fun to drive, but results wise it's been inconsistent, and looking to try and get back on track as soon as possible because I feel the pace is always there, we just can't put everything all together at once. And you're probably wondering why I'm going out so late in the session, why I haven't gone out, and that is because I want to go for the alternate strategy, because we saw in Bahrain Shorter how powerful it was. It's almost equally as powerful here doing the hard to medium strategy. So I'm going out very late because I want to see what the P11 time actually is, as Ron Hard does a 24.1, and I just didn't feel confident that I could start in the top 5 or 6 or the top 5 really on pure qualifying speed, because if you start 6th to 8th or 6th to 10th on the soft tyres, it's very, very hard to overtake on this game in general, especially around here. It's pretty much very, very difficult to get progress, and if you've got someone within 2 positions behind you on the alternate strategy and they can stay with you, then it's going to be almost impossible to beat them. So I'm taking a bit of a risk here to try and qualify as best as I can to the P11 spot, which unfortunately a lot of people do nowadays. So maybe they need to make it a little bit less powerful than what it is, or just change something within the game dynamics. But we're onboarding this up here, and I'm not pushing flat out at all. My PBs are 24.3, but most of the time it's normally like a 0.6 or 5 or something like that. You can see going through the middle sector split, it's a 1 minute 3.7. So if I did a 0 last sector, that would actually be bang on for about P9, P10 at this stage. You can see, coming off the exit here, you'll be able to see by our throttle, we brake before the line, and going across it, we've done a 25.5, and we really just, we were very, very overcautious there, and that's put us in P15 with no fuel and no time to do any more laps. So pretty poor execution, and if we continued that and did a 0.7 or maybe a 6 with a good last sector, we could have been, no, 0.9 last sector would have put us in P11. So we should have just continued the lap in the last sector like we normally would have done. But we're starting P19 this race now. So not a great start to this season, but we always seem to somehow get within the points and make up a lot of positions in the race itself. So a lot of work to do here. Leopard is back here with me. Same with Lefted and Dominic. A lot of people were doing the same thing, and a lot of other people also messed up trying to do their slow lap as well. So we've got 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights here, and as the lights go out now, we try and get a good start. One thing I noticed myself is I've been having quite poor starts recently. I think just been a little bit too greedy on the throttle. So we're going to go try and go round the outside. Really crucial that I get ahead of my teammate for the pit strategy as well. Going to here, we drive into the side of the Renault. Very lucky we didn't get any damage there, so that was a little bit clumsy from myself, but a couple people have gone out. I think Left has got damage, Bobberts still remains behind, and someone else has actually gone out. So we're just going to sit behind this pack as they try and organise themselves accordingly into the right positions in the race. So we're going to think about going around the outside here, trying to get some good traction on the exit against my teammate. So we're going to use the overtake button, and let's see if we can get this overtake done, because it's really crucial that we get up ahead of it. So we're going down the inside into the double left, making a little bit of contact with Ferrari. There's no room really more that I could have turned to left there, trying to out-traction him, but he's got the momentum around the outside. So we're going to allow him to have this. Don't want to waste my ERS too early here. Getting a very good run on the exit of this corner. Now into the song right. This is actually a prime overtaking opportunity. So we're going to go down the inside here, fully alongside, giving some room on the exit as well. And we get that move done. And that was a very, very, very crucial move actually, in fact, in this race, because DRS trains and the ability to overtake in this game, as I said before, is already hard, but it is extremely hard due to the nature of this track here. So we're just going to settle in P16 as there's still a little bit of battling going on up ahead. I think that's the two Renaults of Leopard and Shazoo Dominic sorting themselves out in the position. Leopard actually gets through here, so I need to try and follow these guys through as much as I can. I need to be the highest hard runner as I can here, as Nico is actually now attacking Dominic. But we just need to put ourselves in that position. Otherwise, we're going to have to think a little bit different on the strategy. So coming through to the end of lap 2 here, my race pace is always really strong around Bahrain. I managed to win in TSRL, did well in the last race in TSRL, and actually won last season at the full circuit here in the TSRL. So we go down the inside of WR Nico, get a little bit argy-bargy and exit. Ron Hart is actually behind because I think he disconnected. And he's on the soft tyres because he qualified right near the front, so I'm not sure exactly what happened to him. So the soft tyres are still going to be quite quick at this stage of the race. So we make an overtake on Nico, but then we already lose one to Ron Hart and make a little bit of contact going through into turn 1. So he's going to be very, very fast at this stage of the race here. And we just got to try and use him as a battering ram, maybe, to try and get through the rest of the people up ahead. So we're just settling into this race a little bit more now. Coming towards the end of lap 7. This is approaching the pit stop window. And you can see we're right behind Dominic now. We're actually using all of our overtake button. And you can see the red light was flashing him. So we did make him a little bit nervous going into turn 1. And now I'm just trying to drain his battery. Try and get past him as soon as I can. But I know Dominic, he really will fight tooth and nail for every single position. But to be fair, he needs this grip position. The people on the hard runners, they need to be the lead runner. So I'm not surprised he's fighting this too hard. So we're going to try once again. Now his red light flashes. So I was definitely lower than ERS than him. He's going defensive once again here. Was thinking about going around the outside. Try and go for a little bit of a switchback. Not going to work on this occasion. But we also have to be a little bit aware of Bobbers up behind us, as now quite a few of the soft runners have now pitted in this race, and I think that is the final soft runner of Davizin who's now pitted. Dominic is very, very low on the ERS once again. Was thinking about a move here, just trying to make him nervous, try and put him offline, which we managed to do quite successfully here. Trying to get a good exit of this corner. Now we're going to use the rest of our ERS, and we're both running on absolute fumes here. Was thinking about that on the inside, but it's a very, very dangerous corner to try and overtake on. Due to the contact model, it's very, very easy to spin out wide, and weren't quite able to get it done on this occasion. Was getting quite close here, was thinking about that on the inside here, but again, there's not really too many places you can overtake around Bahrain without a very big risk. It's only really the two main DRS straights and the long right-hander I did on the first lap. I'd say those are the real two overtaking spots here, but again, we're putting quite a bit of pressure on Dominic. But I think this just highlights how hard it is to follow and get close. We get a good run off this corner, and at this stage of the race, I felt very, very good on the speed. We're up there with the hard runners. I think it's only Pinecone who's the lead runner in this group. He qualified in P12 or P11 or something like that. So he's gone for that strategy as well, but he's at the lead of this train, which is where you want to be here. And now coming off this corner again, I don't think we're going to use any of the overtake on this occasion because we're just not quite close enough. But you'll be able to see by the delta on the top left, Bobbers is now launching attack on me. So he's trying to catch me napping, and to be honest, he actually did catch me a little bit napping. So he's trying to go down the inside of me now. So we have to leave him just enough room just in case. And we get a good exit up here. And now we're going to have to defend again. So this is really not good for me. I don't want to be using my ERS at this stage of the race. He's probably been harvesting and saving his a little bit more whilst we've been trying to attack Dominic here, and just about managing to maintain our position here. I don't think it's going to be close enough for a dive down the inside of this corner. So not optimal. We're P6 in this hard runner train with low ERS, and coming on to the next few laps here, I just decided to just save as much ERS as I could, and I've decided to go for the undercut, which I don't usually do. I usually go quite long into the race, but the only way to gain positions here is going for an undercut, and this is actually quite early. I know the mediums can make it
waiting too long
to the end, but having some older mediums is definitely not a good thing on this track. The older tyres, it definitely does make a difference, because tyre wears and tyre temps are definitely a thing in this race here. So my competition having a lap fresher than me are going to be very, very good on the traction at the end, but we had no options. We had to try and do something to bring ourselves back into a big points paying position in this race. So I'm going to push as hard as I can on the laps I have the free air on. As we come until the end of this lap, let's see if anyone responds to my early undercut, because typically it's the end of lap 17 where you'd really want to be pitting, and you can see my teammate is in the pits, but no one else has responded. I think Bobbitt's pitted, I think, at the same time as me, so he just followed me in, but the likes of Leopard, Sparks and Dominic, they haven't responded, so they're going to go for the fresher tyres, which will make them very, very strong at the end. So you can see here, running fairly low on the ERS again, because I've been pushing fairly hard, but still trying to save a little bit of ERS at the end. But you can see we have undercutted the likes of Leopard, and I think Sparks and the other guys have actually gone on a little bit further as well. But you can see Leopard, he was quite a way ahead of us, and we've done a fairly big undercut, so we have got the track position. And I was thinking here, to get the undercut, I have to try and catch the guys ahead of me who are on the hard tyre, who are pitted from the soft to the hards. If I can try and catch them and put multiple cars between myself and the likes of Leopard and the other medium runners who have fresher tyres than me, then we could actually be in a very, very good position in this race. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to catch these guys as quick as I can, using the least amount of ERS as possible, and then just try and create a gap between myself and Leopard towards the end of this race, because the mediums are going to be very, very fast, despite still having to do 12 laps. They will be a little bit worn at the end, but the speed should still be quicker than most of the hard runners, which is what I'm really focusing on. And now what I'm focusing on is just trying to get in the DRS zone of Ronha, which I think I've just about successfully done. So coming towards the end of lap 17 now, Leopard is about 6 tenths behind me. I don't think he's going to be in a massive rush to try and get past me. I think he's just going to probably just chill there. He knows he's got 2 lap fresher tyres than me, so he's just going to try and save his ERS, as we're running under 20% now, just before we start braking. And now we're in the DRS zone of Ronha, which is good. I'm going to try and get past him and Davizin up ahead of him, and try and ensure Leopard doesn't follow me through, so I can just pull a little bit of a gap. So we're going to probably stay on board here for the rest of this lap. Just try and get as close as we possibly can. We currently are in P9 though, so the recovery has actually in fact been really good. That undercut was definitely the right decision, I feel, at this stage of the race. We couldn't really do anything else. If we just followed the likes of Dominic and Leopard into the pits, then we would have just been stuck behind them, and there was nothing we could do in terms of really, really overtaking them, because we always get caught up in the DRS train where someone else ahead of us has the DRS, and that just makes it almost next to impossible for you to overtake. So we're coming onto the back of these hard runners now, and there's definitely some big points to be played here. There's 3 cars ahead of us, so that will put us into P6. So from P19, don't think that would be a bad effort really if we could get into the top 6. So on the exit of this corner, I was really going to be trying to get past Ronha as quick as I could. So we got about 35% ERS on the exit of it here, but we're not going to be using it because Ronha is now actually going to be attacking Davison. So again, we decided to turn off our ERS, and Leopard behind me, who's a very, very smart driver, as Perondi is lagging quite a bit along with Davison, so I don't know what is going on here. Dominic has retired from this race. Perondi is lagging again, so as B-Roll actually lets us pass. So we've got the move done, but I think Leopard has unfortunately followed him through as well. So I'm not quite sure what was happening there, but we are into P7, P6 right ahead of us. And Ronhart actually has a 3-second penalty as well. So we are technically already in P6 as long as we don't get any more warnings or a penalty. I don't think we even have a warning. It says just Ronhart has gone very, very deep here, so that's not optimal. Don't want to be catching him this early. I think Leopard will want to be trying to follow me through as well. But you can see up ahead, we've got Sinkritch, who is not too far ahead with just under 10 laps of this race to go. They're definitely still within striking distance, so we could actually get in the top 5 from the back row of the grid, which would have been a very, very good recovery. So coming into this last corner, I'm just purely focused on getting past Ronhart. And coming off the exit here, he hasn't got the DRS to defend with. I don't think he's going to be using much of the ERS here, as Leopard, I could tell, is now starting to pump that overtake button. He's just going to follow me through. He's not going to try and make a double overtake. You can see there's a group of 3 cars up ahead of us here, and there's definitely still game on. P4 is only 4 seconds away, and we are on the faster tyre as well, so we can still do this in this race. So coming towards the end of that 20, see the gap is about 3.5, 2.7. Leopard, being the smart driver that he is, and I would be doing exactly the same, he's not going to waste his time trying to battle me at this stage. He's just going to use me to get up to these guys up ahead, save his ERS as much as he can, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do as well. I'm trying to use the bare minimum I can, but also try and catch these guys as quick as possible, and try and catch them in the right place where Leopard isn't going to have an opportunity to overtake me before. So coming towards the end of that 22, we're getting a little bit closer now to these guys. Leopard, I think, was trying to play dumb that he didn't have the pace, but I was fairly sure that he was just trying to save as much ERS as possible here, and just using me as the guinea pig in a way to try and catch these guys, and then he reaped the benefits by being the caravan behind me holding all of the battery power. But I'm going to try and get within Sinkritch's DRS zone at the end of the lap if I possibly could, because I think they're now starting the battle. And again, the P4 is right there. It is not far away at all, and that would again be a comeback that I would be very, very happy with. But I can tell Leopard now is going to start upping the pace. I don't think we're going to be close enough at the end of this lap to get within the DRS zone. We're going to have to gain 7 tenths before the end of this lap, which I think is going to be a little bit unrealistic here. So Leopard, you can see 2 tenths behind now, so I think he is closing in, preparing his attack on me as well. But I knew my car was quite fast in a straight line though, so I'm going to try and defend this, because I was pretty confident the next lap that I should be able to get within the DRS zone of the cars up ahead. So Leopard is getting very, very close into this last corner here, so we're going to try and get the best exit we possibly can. We get a pretty decent exit actually. In fact, using our battery power, he's not that close at 3 tenths at the moment, but now this is where he is launching all of the overtake. And then I quickly realised here, I'm just going to turn off my battery power, because there's no point really fighting him too hard, and I'm just going to try and follow him back up to these guys up ahead and just preserve my ERS, because I was pretty sure he burned a lot of his trying to make that overtake happen here now. So we come towards the end of lap 25. We actually caught up to the battle for 4th place here, and you can see Bobbitt's is just outside the DRS zone, so we've managed to save quite a bit of the ERS once again. So now we are actually in quite a good position here, so I felt confident I was probably going to be much higher on the power front than these guys up ahead, as Leopard gets a little bit compromised by Sinkritch there. So we're going to try and maximize this opportunity, force him to use his overtake button. So he tries to go around the outside. Sinkritch, his red light is turning on. Leopard goes out wide, so we now go side by side into this right-hander. We have to try and get this moved up, but going through it here, we've just been spun round completely by LCR Leopard. And I can confirm there was 100% contact there. And that is our race. completely done. And we're going to see a replay of that, exactly what happened there. And the reason why I went for that is I wanted to be the car ahead of Leopard to try and put Critch between myself and him and create enough of the gap with the fresh tyre. So we're going to slow it down here. At this point, we are literally side by side. Going to this corner, I go as tight as I possibly can. We're still completely side by side. And at this point, he hits the front wheel of my car, which sends me into a spin. He had a lot of room in his outside.
Cheers, Leopard.
And
fucking hell, man.
Yeah, you can tell we're not too happy there. Of course, we wouldn't be happy. But the contact model makes it very, very punishing on this game. So we decide to pit 4 soft tyres at the end because we're out of the points.
Because if I didn't do it
and
there,
again,
then I think it would have
been
been really hard to get
why did you go for that move? But I wanted to go for that move to try and put a car between myself and LCR Leopard to then pull away, because I felt with his fresher tyres at the end, it would have been very, very hard for me to stay ahead of him. So I really, really wanted to try and get that P4. I have nothing to lose here. I had 1 point in this championship in the first round, and I just wanted to get the maximum points possible. But I can confirm, in fact, that the stewards decided that Leopard got a 10-second time penalty for that because he didn't leave me enough racing room. So that was the outcome of that. So at the end of the day, both of our races were very, very compromised in that instant there. But we have to move on. I respect the LCR Leopard. I think he's a fantastic driver. He's very, very aggressive at times, which I think at times a lot of drivers are aggressive because they need to be. And some people make mistakes as well. I've done on many, many occasions as Antoine wins the race. So GG to him. Definitely the man on form, as I mentioned in the previous video, doing a really, really good job. But we're trying to set the fastest lap now just to try and put a little pride back into this race here. But hasn't been the ideal start to the season. But this race, I felt again the speed was very, very good within the race itself. I felt we made the right decision to try and go on this alternate strategy, because you can see the likes of Davison, who was in the upper end of the top 10, he was really, really punished for not starting within the top 5. It's come across the line. We do the fastest lap of a 25.8. Not enough for points in the end here, but it is what it is. And yeah, I had fun. Very, very disappointing end to the race, but we move on. We try and put everything all together. And I just want to say again, thank you so much for the support on this channel, for all the videos, for all the streams. We are streaming TSRL Monza tomorrow. Not too far behind in that championship with plenty of races to come. So again, thank you so much, and I will catch you very, very soon. Peace.